Good morning, aspiring viewers. Did I make it to bed by 11 last night? Not quite. It was like 11:30. So anyway, I'm running late for work because I did sleep in just a little bit, which I kind of needed. I gotta run. So if you didn't already know, I'm vegan. And I've been vegan for about a year now. In fact, my veganiversary was at the end of March. And it's been an interesting year learning about being vegan, learning the proper diet. Oh, and if you haven't read my bio, basically my challenge this year as far as diet goes is I am doing a bodybuilding challenge on a whole food plant-based diet without supplements. And that includes protein. So a common question that I get, even from vegetarians, is where do you get your protein? And as you can see, I'm putting a smile on my face because I find it funny. Now that I've been a vegan for a year, that question is just hilarious to me. My first response is, and often off-putting for most people, is that protein is overrated. And I think the reason it's off-putting to most people is because in our society we've been taught that protein is the most important nutrient. But let me ask you a question. When have you ever heard of anyone dying or being sick of a lack of protein? It just doesn't happen. Unless you're starving yourself, you cannot not get enough protein. In other words, if you're eating food, you'll get protein. Even better if you eat whole food. But that's another story. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing I've learned over the past year being vegan is that I didn't die from a lack of protein. Nor did I supplement my protein intake with mock meats or any type of powder. I've just slowly become slimmer, trimmer, stronger, healthier. Even my allergies kind of went away. And the beauty of the whole food plant-based diet for me has been being able to eat as much as I want and not gain any weight. So that was a huge win. So how did I come into finding veganism? That's a very good question. Sorry, I didn't mean to point. So how did I find veganism and make the decision to become vegan myself? If you saw my very first video, you'll know that I've been on a path, a quest for better health for the last 4 or 5 years now. I used to be much larger, weighed about 250 pounds. And after my divorce, I started taking care of myself, started eating healthier, and eventually I felt better, and eventually I started feeling well enough to exercise. But you know, what does healthier mean? I mean, I think it means something different to everyone, because if you asked 10 people what they think is healthy as far as food goes, they would all say different things. So I first started with the paleo diet, which is probably the most popular diet right now, or low carb. And it works for a period of time, and after that it doesn't. And part of the reason it doesn't is because eventually you need to eat carbs. So it just wasn't a sustainable diet for me. In fact, I started gaining weight, and then I lost access to a gym, which meant I wasn't exercising as much. I should probably pause and say, I know everyone's gonna have their thing about diet and nutrition and fitness. Please know that you can respond however you like. I'm not asking you to agree with me, I'm just telling you my story. Nor am I saying that you're wrong. And I'm not about hate. I'm not trying to shame anyone into changing the way they eat and feel and think. So after I lost access to the gym, I started this new job a little over a year ago. One of my colleagues was a personal trainer. And so he's very fit. And so we were talking about diet and exercise, and I told him, oh man, I've been gaining weight since I started working here because we have lots of snacks. Plus I don't have a gym, I haven't been working out. And I told him my interest in looking into bodybuilding. And he's like, yeah, well, you could do the bodybuilder's diet where you eat smaller, frequent meals and make sure you get enough protein. And so I did my research. I searched, how much protein I should be eating, what I should be eating, what do bodybuilders eat during this period of time when they're either cutting or bulking. I was trying to cut because Had a lot of excess fat, still have a lot of excess fat. So anyway, I do this diet, buy the book, get all the protein I'm supposed to be eating, and within 2 weeks I was feeling horrible. My insides were just, it was just wretched. When I was doing my research, I happened to run across Robert Cheek's talk. His talk was about vegan bodybuilding. And I thought to myself, well, that's strange that there is even such a thing. But I said, but what I'm doing now is not really working out for me. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it out. I'm going to eat vegan for a couple weeks and see how it goes. And I did. And with 2 weeks, in less than 2 weeks actually, but within 2 weeks, I was feeling great. And I started shedding weight again. All the weight that I was gaining from eating a paleo diet. And also when I was doing my research, I ran into movies like Forks Over Knives that led me into diets like whole food plant-based diets. And that was really helpful as far as like figuring out that healthy food is whole food. So basically I found a diet that works for me, that works for my body, that I feel good about. And the reason I stayed vegan was I watched the movie Cowspiracy. And what Cowspiracy did for me was realize that there's a connection between animal agriculture to the impact that it's having to the environment and causing global warming. It is the #1 cause, according to this movie. It had a whole bunch of stats basically on how animal agriculture is affecting the environment. And after I watched that movie, I just couldn't, in good conscience, go back to eating meat again. And that was when I made the decision. And that was in late March. I don't remember the exact date. So about this time, 1 year ago. So that's my vegan story and how I became vegan and why I stayed vegan. I don't know what else to say about that, you know. I just know it's a touchy subject for some people, and for some it's either a defense mechanism to justify that you're a meat eater. I mean, I get it. I was there. I was the bacon guy. I was the guy who said I could never be vegan because of bacon or because of whatever excuse I was making. So it was health that sparked my interest. It was the environment that kept me vegan. And I'm still learning about animal rights. I'm not an activist by any means, but I do care that, you know, I mean, one way to put it is that how can you hug one animal like a dog or cat or whatever, but eat another? That doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me before. It doesn't make sense to me now. But before, I just didn't care, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to include this part because, again, this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people because just by me mentioning that I'm vegan and why I'm vegan, I know others just can't help but reflect on themselves. And I don't want to make other people feel bad. Like that's the tough part, you know, being social with friends and family. Yeah, there's a hard part to being vegan, and it's that eating vegan is easy, but the social part is difficult. It is hard to. I think there's a stigma with the word vegan, and this is not a vegan channel. I hope you know that. Like I don't promote veganism here. I share that I'm vegan, and I share the foods that I make that are vegan. But I'm not about like, you should be vegan. Yeah, do it. That's not me. And I don't know that it works. Maybe for some people, but I don't think that it works for most people. So that's my vegan story. So happy veganiversary for me. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.